Hey YouTubers, quick little update. I saw a video on making your own homemade flux, so I made up a batch. I got this little tin of solid flux off of eBay for $6.99 and mixed it with 91% isopropyl alcohol and let it set overnight, and I made 2 batches so far. I've got a 50% batch, and I measured this out on a digital scale from Harbor Freight. So the 50% batch was 3 grams of rosin flux and 3 grams by weight of alcohol. And then I made another batch of 70%, a little bit thicker. I'm not sure if my math is exact, but close enough. And I got these bottles at a craft store. They have a nice needle tip. And then I found this guy on YouTube, Electronics and More. Great channel. He's into cars and electronics. And he had a tip on making your own rosin flux pen. And so he suggested going to the dollar store, which I did. And I got 3 of these fluorescent yellow highlighter pens. And so this one I got it out, and it had this tube inside that had some kind of fibrous type material. I rinsed it out, and then I just decided to pull all the guts out because I didn't want any contamination with water or the ink. And so I'm going to restuff this little plastic tube with some cotton material, just cotton balls. And then the tip, I rinsed that out as good as I could under running water. And so I'll fill that up and see how it works. Hopefully it works nice. Also, the end cap was kind of a bugger to get out. I had to use needle nose pliers. So I just drilled a hole in the end and put a screw in there so I can easily pull it out to refill this. And what else is happening? I've got the old HP scope on the bench, and I got all new caps. There was one bumblebee cap here I want to replace. I don't have a tester yet, so I'm just going to replace it with this orange drop. And then I want to be sure I put this in, you know, and mark the foil side. And Mr. Carlson's lab shows how to test them on a scope. Well, this is my only scope and it's down, so I can't use that. So I found this other channel where a guy used a guitar amp with a cord with 1/4-inch jacks on each end, and he just laid the capacitor across the center and the shield part of the plug, and then reversed it, and then he could tell, you know, which way is noisiest from the hum. Anyway, you could determine the foil side doing that. And so I've got a little PV amp here I'm going to use and see how that works out. Also, I sent off to eBay for a factory service manual for this HP 130 oscilloscope, and it has schematics, fold-out schematics, which is nice. I want to double check all the wiring on the electrolytics when I replace them, plus go through the calibration procedure. And hopefully get this old HP working again. And also, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I thought it was about 20 megahertz bandwidth, but according to this service manual, it's like 500 kilocycles. So I guess limited function there, but I plan on using it as a curve tracer mostly. I think I mentioned in a previous video I was going to use it for a signal tracer, but curve tracer. And so we'll keep you updated on this. Hopefully everything turns out. I've pulled all the tubes out and I cleaned the pins and the sockets with Deoxit D5. I also cleaned all the switches, pots, and the wafer switches with Deoxit D5. So hopefully this little girl will come back to life and be a usable unit here. So what else? I read a couple of good books lately. One is, move this stuff out of the way here. Sorry I don't have a decent cam. I'm doing this on my my cell phone. Here's the book. How to Diagnose and Fix Everything Electronic by J. Gear. Really good book. Good sense of humor too. I enjoyed that one. And also this was a very good book. There's a lot of math and theory in this, which I just kind of skipped over, but Practical Electronics for Inventors by Paul Schurz and Simon Monk. Really good book. I enjoyed that one. Also, scored this little dude off of eBay. I couldn't resist this old science fair digital logic lab kit. I thought that'd be a good way to kind of brush up on that. And I'll take you out here to the shop too. The old snowblower project, the old Toro, 1970 Toro, turned out great. And for just a little guy, this thing does awesome. Single stage. I made a cover for the belt, the drive belt, out of ABS plastic, and a crude cover for the carburetor. But this thing turned out great. And I recently scored its big brother for 50 bucks, non-running. Basically needed the carb cleaned out. And it's got 3 forward speeds, 2 reverse, a little bit taller on the handles, so I don't have to bend over. So this thing just turned out great. I changed the oil. Somebody had replaced the spark plug already, but this is a 2-stage. Really kicks the snow out. So got about 60 bucks into this. Oh yeah, I replaced the fuel line. It kind of sneaks through against the cylinder under this starter cover, and of course it was hard as a rock, so I wanted to replace that. So, and that was a little bit of a chore, but got it all done. And as you can see, we've got some snow lately. It's been snowing for pretty much a week straight. So that's what I've been doing. Haven't been doing much in the little shack. Anyway, thought I'd give you a good update and Thanks to Electronics and More for the tip on the rosin pen. I'm about ready to stuff some cotton in there and fill it up and see how it works. Alright. Take care. Have a good one. See you later.